Welcome to episode 590 of Salsidoparanormal. I'm your host, James Salcido, and tonight we are sharing true paranormal stories from the web. As always, you can find all episodes of the show along with links to social media and other ways to contact me at the podcast page, and that is salsidoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions, or accounts of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. And yes, only 10 episodes away from episode 600. So yeah, then getting towards that interesting number, that triple number there too as well. Another 76 episodes. So, and thank you all for listening, whether you are here for the live stream on Discord, or if you listen to the podcast or YouTube feeds, or on the Trouble Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. There you can hear replays of 2 episodes of the show every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right before Trouble Minds Radio comes on. And as always, I want to thank Michael Strange, host of Trouble Minds Radio, for having me on the network and putting all my shows up there. If you'd like to support the show, there are some different ways to do that. You can always share the show with others and rate and review it on your favorite podcast platform. You can also find books I've written over on Amazon, paranormal fiction and nonfiction, with another one coming hopefully soon. You can also sign up for the Patreon page, which I'd really appreciate as of now. Trying to get that going, and you can find 1 extra episode per week of true paranormal stories from the web over there. Or you can just make one-time donations through PayPal. And those are the different ways to help. Support is never expected, but always appreciated, as there are expenses in making these shows and associated projects like the book series that I would like to put out over time along with the show. From equipment to research materials to travel expenses in some cases. And so, yeah, that's all of that. I think that takes care of everything. And next week, like I said, we'll be back to a regular mix of shows. So, which would be the book reviews, and then the haunted places in the U.S., and then the true paranormal stories from the web. So, excuse me. Getting to the accounts here, and of course, that's I'm still deciding if I want to do try to do 2 book reviews at the same time or not. We'll see. But either way, there'll always be 2 episodes of book reviews per week. And so yeah, going forward, excited for that. All those things going on there. Getting to the accounts here of experiences. Let's see here. This one, I lost my spot. Okay, there we go. This one says, I was born and raised in my house and still live here. Throughout my life, weird things have happened in the house. My grandmother, a devout Christian, believed, in quotation marks here, the devil was in the house, end quotation marks, and had the house blessed. But I was too young to remember this. I don't know about that as far as the devil goes, but I do think it was a spirit of some kind. My friends and I have always joked about the house being haunted, with everyone having had a weird experience themselves. Some of the things that have happened included feeling like someone was getting up on the bed when alone, super real dreams where someone was whispering gibberish in my ear, whistling coming from the bathroom, and hearing knocking, even getting a response after knockback after knocking as a joke. These occurrences are not consistent and happen randomly every so often. The most recent event happened when my friend and I were lying down playing on our phones. we both heard a casual, in quotation marks here, "Hey," and initially thought it was the other person speaking. After realizing neither of us had said it, we had a few moments of freaking out. I wonder what to make of all these experiences and wanted to share my story. The latest experience is completely different from the ones I've had before, which I find really weird. And that's where that one ends. So it sounds like um, there's been a lot of experiences, but also over a lot of time. And I get that. I sort of have that here in my place. There have been several things that have happened, but it's been over the course of 16, 17 years. And so if you count up the number of experiences versus the number of days that I've lived here, it's not the number of those experiences is far less than the number of days. So I totally get what they're saying there. I don't know. It seems like there could be a lot going on there. Just that sense of someone being there, that sense of movement on the bed, the sounds. A lot of it seems like it's not so much visual. It's all sort of feeling and or hearing, which is always from what I've heard over the years and through listening to shows about all these things, is that um, actual visual apparitions aren't as common as what you see on TV, as what you hear about in horror stories um, in general. Unless you're extremely sensitive, in which case that sort of is a different situation. But a lot of events can sort of fall into that whole idea of, or that whole range of more like sensations of feeling something or hearing something, or even in some cases, smelling an aroma of perfume or cigar smoke in some places where um, someone used those things a lot. So, but visual sightings can be rare. And it sounds like in this place, in this location, it's all, it's everything but that. So, um, the writer doesn't seem to be really afraid, which is good. I would imagine that the um, the random nature of the amount of time that happened in between each experience would help with that. But but yeah, may just be that the location has energy and it manifests in different ways at different times. So can also be connected to who's there when they're there and when they're not as well. I would guess so. Also, people can. Um, I think it can depend on the people that are there and their own energies and how those interact as well. Um, I've said this before that I had a lot of experiences in what used to be my aunt and uncle's house with my cousin, but he didn't have any of the same or any similar experiences, as far as I know, in that house when I wasn't there. It was always when it was both of us there. So that can be a thing as well. The whole nature of the energy that we give off and take in and all that, and when combined with together with people around us, that can, I think, play in as well. I would be curious to know who exactly was there during each of the experiences and what the commonality is in that location and in those people, those arrangements of people in that location in the account there that I just read. So, moving on to the next one here. Let's see here. This one says, I am a student in audio production. For an assignment, I am recording audiobooks with sound effects that I have to design myself. Unknown to me, and if you're hearing noises, I apologize. It is a party going on a little ways behind my apartment here. So those are not EVPs, as the saying goes, and on other shows I've heard before. Um, Unknown to me at the time of recording, my microphone channel switched from standard to uh, vocal isolation. Isolation, not oscillation. It took me over 4 hours to find out what was wrong with the microphone settings. During the multiple recordings of zippers, metal sounds, metal clanging, and random noises that were not vocals, audible vocals emerged. I found the emergence of these vocals very creepy. I want to note that I live and record within 100 feet of a Native American burial site. Some of the audible things that came through the recordings were "hello," "what," and "you need to fix the distortion," and that was all in quotation marks there. Only after recording and fixing the issue later did I realize that the microphone setting was on vocal isolation and that there wasn't anyone talking. This realization led me to believe that the vocals were not produced by any person present during the recording. And that's where that one ends. That one to me is amazing. It reminds me of actually a movie, one of the few movies I can think of, remember, that is sort of has a scene similar to this. Um, but um, but yeah, it's just that there's these sounds that are being recorded on recordings that people don't plan on, and you hear about that once in a great while on podcasts. Sometimes there'll be sounds that will be picked up that don't match what's going on in the show, but also getting back to that, I remembered what it was now. Getting back to that movie reference, for those of you that have that remember The Sixth Sense, which is really I like that movie a lot overall. It did a really good job overall of presenting the more subtle nature of paranormal events uh, in general. Of course, it had its moments where things got intense and everything, but just in general, it was very good with that. But at one point, one of the main characters, I believe it was Bruce Willis. I forget now. I'm terrible with remembering who's and what and all that. Um, does a recording for whatever reason, and um, and in this recording, he picks up a voice of someone speaking mixed sort of Spanish and English, and it's it's not anyone that was there at the time. So it's really reminds me of that. And to me, at first, I could kind of say, well, there are ways for devices to pick up things from other locations. But if you're talking about a student that is into audio recording and tech, you would think they'd be aware of those things and how to sort of filter those out, or at least when they hear something, rule it out as that. To not sort of mention that. And yes, who switched the settings? Now, sometimes with updates or whatever, settings can be changed. But you also can't rule out, because you hear this in other cases too, that there was some other entity or force that also can change settings on things. Um, so yeah, a good comment there from Mattel there. Um, I want to go back to, so yeah, that's a neat one there. So let's see here, but yeah, this it's really so going back to the comment here, Derek says making contact via technology as usual. Yeah, But going back to the last story about the house, Derek says, "Wow, that's a cool idea about regarding the different combinations of people. So it's not like each person is a magnet on their own, but the combination of multiple people." And yes, I've heard of that before, Derek. Different cases, different accounts of experiences, different people, different people's vibes or energies are the ingredients. I'm sort of adding things here as I'm thinking too, so I apologize for that. Um, adding ingredients that could produce the phenomena. Sometimes I do think that's the case. Yeah. So, from Ricky here in the chat, spirits have been known to pull energy from electronics. Why not adjust settings too? That's something that I think we are going to see more and more over time as entities become more and more familiar with technology, whether it's human spirits or not, even if it's human spirits from the past. Well, as we go forward into the future with technology, that past is going to be maybe our present. And they'll know to a degree how some technology works. And so I think that's going to be something that will be easier to do as time goes on, even just in terms of contact with other people and or other entities that again are still around. So and then Derek says, or as technology becomes easier for them to get their message across, possibly yes. More sophisticated communication devices, AI, yeah, yep. So all those things definitely play into all that. So yeah, that one to me was amazing because here you have this person that is into audio recording. They're in that field. They're learning that field, and not only how to record, but I mean, so you think they're learning all about all the things related to that. So that to me sort of helps rule out possibly anyway, um, just a series of things that could happen that would make that happen without it being paranormal. At least there's that possibility anyway. So neat one there. And like I said, it just reminds me of that movie. Makes me want to watch that movie again. I haven't seen it in years, but I remember I liked it a lot. So if you're interested in a movie that is a little more subtle with all that with the paranormal, that would be a good one to go check out. I think so. Um, the movie White Noise, yeah, that one was a good one, pretty good one too. So Ricky says paranormal using AI. That would be interesting. One of those paranormal technology makers going to make something. I've been wondering about that too. Going to make something and they'll be able to do that. There are devices already, even before the AI came out, where there are words programmed into the device, and the idea is that by connecting with or sort of connecting with the device in different ways or manipulating the environment around the device, spirits um, can make the devices say different words or parts of words or even names. So that sort of technology is already there at a base level. Imagine just applying AI to that. Um, that could really. I'm curious if that went. I'm curious to see when that happens. If that does happen, how that goes. Yeah, definitely. Um, Derek says, I think that's the whole point of AI. It could be, or a major point. Technological Ouija board, yes, definitely. Ricky says, yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, it wouldn't take much. No, it wouldn't take much more, really. There's already those that have the words and the parts of words. You just sort of enhance the programming of it a little bit more. Put a little more, I don't know what the terms will be. Put a little more tech in there and you could do it. Um, let's see here if we can get to one more story because we've been on these last couple here, so a lot, which is fine. But Okay, so here we go. This next one says, I live in and manage a haunted motel. A guest approached me asking if anyone had been in his room. The guest and his roommate went out the night before, leaving the guest's wedding ring on the nightstand. The ring is now missing, but no one was in the room. I do wonder why someone would take only the ring while leaving other valuables, especially since there is no pawn shop in the town. Did a spirit take the ring? Why would it do that? The motel has one spirit, a previous manager, who still tries to vacuum at night and shows up in rooms and shows displeasure. Sorry, yeah, let's say displays displeasure. That's hard to say. At negative things toward the motel. I was told there is also a malevolent spirit in the motel that I should try to ignore. This isn't the full picture of activity in the motel and grounds. How do I get the ring back without telling the guest that a, in quotation marks, spooky ghost may have taken it? Any advice would be appreciated. And for that, I have no idea. But it sounds like there's a lot that goes on in that motel with the paranormal. They said themselves that's not even the whole picture of what goes on there. And you hear that so often with hotels, motels. There's just all those people coming and going, all that energy coming and going or staying or being changed by who's coming and going. A lot of options there for things to be happening. So, I almost wouldn't be surprised if that ring shows up at some point. Of course, it may not do anyone any good when it does, because the guest may be long gone from the area when it happens. But sometimes things do go missing and never come back, unfortunately. So I don't know how to help the writer there, but seems like they already know the place has activity, and this is just the thing they wrote about is just the latest thing to happen there, and I don't know. So a lot of neat accounts tonight in this show. I'm glad I was able to get all those through. We only got through like a few of them too. There's just so much great discussion in the chat. So yeah, I think that's where we'll end it for tonight. Please be sure to listen to the station, the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting, has great content from all kinds of people there all through the day, 24/7. And then I'm even on there too. So joking, not joking, but yeah. So just check it out, and there's just different shows. It's sort of random throughout the day, a lot of cases, but so that's the part of the neat thing about it is you never know who you'll hear, and so yeah, it's please check out the shows that are on there. There's links there to people's individual shows that are part of the network and everything, and yeah, just please check out all the links on all that on my episode descriptions when it comes to guests and what they're doing as well. I'd really appreciate it. So thank you all for being here, and I will talk to you all on the next episode of Salsido Paranormal. Take care.